like a bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We're meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Hello, cousin. I am Uncle Mike, your favorite gamer's favorite uncle. And we are going to do a little flight here because one of the things that we are going to do is we're going to start playing the game called The Lake. And so I figured, why not here in Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox Series S? Let's go ahead and fly to the lake. So I've got Aunt Cindy here with me in the airplane, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Here is our airplane. Since we're going to the lake, we need 3.6 Uncle Mike in the floats configuration. So here we are in our float plane. Aunt Cindy is in there with me. And so we're going to take this, it's about less than an hour flight here to the lake, but we're going to kind of take the long way around so that way we could perhaps get a nice view of the Columbia River as we depart here from Portland's Troutdale airport, and then we'll go up the Columbia River canyon here for a little bit and then take a turn to the south and fly past Mount Hood, which should be beautiful today. We've got a few clouds, but nothing too terribly bad. So we've got a VFR flight that we are going to do here, and then we'll land on the lake. And then therefore we can start playing the game The Lake by Whitethorn Games, which came out, I think came out last year, and it seems to be just kind of this neat little third-person narrative game. And so we'll check that out here in future live streams. But first, we need to fly to the lake. We're going to go ahead and do a somewhat study level flight here, meaning we are sitting here at parking. Engine is shut down, so we'll need to go ahead and do all the ATC stuff, start the engine and everything. So let's jump right here into the cockpit. You can see the cockpit is a little bit different than our standard 172 that we've been flying, because we've got the bracing here that we need because we have put added structure, meaning the floats down here on the airplane. So it's a little bit different. So let's go ahead, and we've got plenty of fuel, but we can go ahead and turn on the battery. You can see we've got half fuel here. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're on both tanks. Fuel valve is in. We're pretty much we're down here at sea level. So let's go ahead and go full rich. Let's go ahead and give some throttle. And now let's go ahead and activate the fuel pump here and prime the engine for just 3 or 4 seconds. All right, there we go. We are sitting here in the airplane, so now we're operating it. So let's go ahead and turn the beacon on. And let's go ahead and get that throttle here set. So let's back it off now just a little bit. There we go. I like what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and check the area. Looking good. I can see our beacon there on the tail is on. Let's jump back into the cockpit and we are ready to go for engine start. So let's go ahead and go here, and well, one thing we need to do is go ahead and turn the parking brake on. There we go. And now let's go for engine start. Here we go. Clear. And let's go over here and check that we've got oil pressure is coming up. Vacuum looks good. Everything else looks good. We've got plenty of fuel. It's a short flight here that we are doing, so not too worried about that. So yeah, good engine start. Let's go ahead and get the alternator on. There we go. Amps just popped up. And now let's go ahead and turn on both avionics buses, get everything warmed up here. All right, everything is looking good so far. So there's a fuel truck ready to asking to cross the runway here. This does have a tower, so this is a controlled airport, so we'll need to go ahead and get our weather, and then we'll need to talk to air traffic control. Even though we're a VFR flight, everything's looking good here. I'll go ahead and also give you something that I have also done. I've got my second monitor here working again, and so we can talk about our flight plan just so you can kind of see it. So here we are at Troutdale, Portland Troutdale. Here's the international airport. I've flown into that international airport commercially. I have flown in there. But here we are at Troutdale, a little east there, right down the Columbia River. So we're basically going to go VFR. We're just going to follow the river. We're going to pass Cascade Locks. We're going to go up in here into Jernstead. And at Jernstead, we're going to basically then start climbing and go through the canyon. Mount Hood is right here. So we'll get should get nice views of Mount Hood. Maybe even do a circle around that. That might be kind of interesting to do. And then we'll just kind of make a little bit turn to the southwest. And down here is the lake. So that is where we're heading towards. So not a very long flight. We could go direct, but that's not as fun. So let's not go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and jump right back into the cockpit here as everything's warming up. So let's just go ahead and check to make sure here. Temperature's okay. Fuel flow is out. Good. Temperature is coming up. Oil pressure looks good. All right, let's go ahead and back off to 1,000 RPMs here. Let it just kind of warm up as we go now, and we start getting our weather. So I wonder if, let's go ahead and just take a look here. Let's check ground services. Do we have anything? No. So we'll go ahead and talk to them. I'm not sure. I guess I probably could dial in see if we can go ahead and do that. So we might try to do that manually. So I am not going to talk to ATC yet. We're going to come over here. And we are going to dial in. ATIS according to this is 135,625. So 135,625. All right, I've also got up here 122.95. So let's try that. Just see if we can get some weather here. Looks like a pretty nice day, so all right, well, not getting any weather, so let's go ahead and just contact ground here and Tell them that we are going to be departing right to the east here. So go ahead and return.
Portland ground, Cessna November Tree, 6 uniform. Mike ready to taxi east departure.
Cessna November Tree 6 uniform Mike taxi 2 and hold short of runway 25 via taxiway Bravo. Contact tower on 121.8 when ready.
All right. So we'll go ahead and acknowledge that taxi clearance.
Taxi 2 and hold short runway 25 via taxiway Bravo Cessna uniform Mike.
All right, 25 using Bravo. So here we go. It's going to set the heading bug. I do have, as you can see over there, the taxi ribbon. So it just helps us here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So you can see the taxi ribbon here. So we can actually just go ahead and cross the hold line there and taxi right down to the end runway that's right in front of us here. So like what I see, engine looks good. So let's go ahead and parking brake comes off. Yes, we do have little retractable landing gear here on our floats, which is amazing. So we'll need to remember that we've got literally landing gear that we need to retract, and we do not want to land on the water with the landing gear down. So here we go, taxiing here to runway 25, which means we're gonna have to do a 180. We are going to then take off. And we can just go ahead and do left traffic here. Look and see. I don't think there's any terrain, so we'll just taxi down here, then do a run up, check everything, and we'll get airborne for our little short flight to the lake. First time here flying on a float plane here on Microsoft Flight Simulator. We'll come down here. There we go. Parking brake comes on. Parking brake is set. All right, let's go down here and let's go to 1800 RPMs. Alright, check the magnetos. Right side looks good. Back to 1800. Try the left. Nice little drop, looks good. Let's come over here and check all our in-range instruments. Looking good. Exhaust gas temperature will come up here as we sit here in our run-up. We'll go ahead and climb up to 2500. So here on the autopilot, so I'm going to go ahead and actually turn the autopilot on, and of course we can check that to make sure that it goes off. So let's climb up to 2000. Actually, we're going to be going east. Let's go to 3500. We can go ahead and let's make sure that that is set still. 3,500, yes. And we'll go ahead and climb out at, we're down here at sea level, so 500 feet per minute. Everything else is looking good. Now what we can do is we go and operate the controls, and there the autopilot kicks off, so that is a good test of the autopilot disconnect. Okay, everything looks real good. I went ahead and we do have, go ahead and switch over to GPS. I did program in some GPS waypoints for us, so we can use those to navigate if we get lost, but it should be pretty easy to navigate here with a beautiful day, VFR. We've got the river, the mountain, the lake. It's pretty easy to go ahead and find our way. All right, so we are now ready to go. Parking brake comes off. Come Come up here, the hold lines here. There we go. And let's go ahead now and go ahead and request takeoff.
Portland Tower, Cessna November Tree, 6 Uniform Mike ready for east departure at runway 25.
Cessna November Tree, 6 Uniform Mike
2902, what's up? East departure approved.
2 wind 255 at 7. East departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 25.
All right.
Cleared
Clear for takeoff.
Runway 25 Cessna
Let's
Uniform
go ahead
Mike
now.
Mike.
Landing lights come on, nav and strove come on. Yep, everything is looking good. Go ahead and put 1 notch of flaps in just because we have that added structure. And here we go. Got a displaced threshold here, so we can go ahead and use as much runway as we want. Like I said, haven't really flown the seaplane. It's got that added structure and drag. So here we go. And away we go. Let's get rid of ATC here. Full power. Very nice. Look at that. Airspeed's alive. 50 knots. And 65 knots. I'm going to go to 70 for the rotate. 70 and rotate. There we go. Climb out here at 75 with a notch of flaps. Portland straight ahead there, down the Columbia River to the west.
Cessna Uniform Mike continue for east departure.
There we go. We are clear for east departure.
Portland Tower, Cessna November Tree, 6 Uniform Mike continue for east departure.
All right, we got some altitude. So let's go ahead and start a gentle turn now to the east. Like I said, we're going to do left traffic, so everything is looking good. What we're going to do is we're going to climb up here. I'm going to climb up with flaps at about 75 knots. Haven't flown the seaplane before, so I'm not really sure about what to expect with it. So that's why I want the added lift of the flaps until we kind of get up and settle. Go ahead and bring up the gear now. So the gear are translating. You see them getting tucked up. Look at that getting tucked up in there. Oh, that is so cool. All right, so gear are up. We are now basically on a downwind where we took off. Now you can see the Columbia River. Absolutely amazing. Getting a little slow, 70 knots. I'm going to go ahead and start to speed up, and flaps are coming up. And so now we're at 1,400, but we're going to keep climbing to about 3,500 is what we settled in for. So, all right, here we are. There is Uncle Mike and Aunt Cindy there, heading off to the lake. That's where we just took off from for Troutdale. You can see the Columbia River. Let's go ahead and keep climbing up here. And we're just going to be doing VFR. Like I said, I've dialed in GPS coordinates, but we're not going to fly like a direct route. We're going to fly VFR. We're just basically going to fly right up the Columbia River here. So we are higher than traffic pattern altitude. We're coming up on 2,000 feet. Getting a little slow. Let's pitch over here just a little bit, back to 75 as we climb up to 3,500. We will have terrain that we'll have to climb over, so we're going to climb up probably 6,000, 7,000 feet as we get close to Mount Hood and to go over, because the lake is actually at 3,200 feet in elevation. So all right, coming up on 2,200 feet. We are cleaned up with flaps, cleaned up with gear, so everything is looking good. And since we're going to basically be low and all that, we'll just keep the landing lights on for better visibility. So Everything is looking good. I am still hand flying. That's how good I am here on the sticks.
Cessna uniform Mike Mike, leaving my airspace frequency change.
All right.
Portland Tower
We don't need to
Cessna,
talk to anybody on this
November
flight.
6 uniform, Mike Mike
There's a
frequency
few little
change.
airports and stuff like that on the way, but we'll be above them because they're really down on the river, so they're at sea level, and we're going to be really above them, so there's really at 3,500 feet, so we don't have to talk to them at all. So, but we're coming up on 3,000 feet, going for 3,500. Getting a little bit of clouds up here at 3,500. We'll need to maintain VFR, but so we just need to be cognizant of that as we go. So we might have to do some deviations here. I'm going to go ahead and get the heading bug here on the HSI ready to go. I'll go ahead and turn the lights on. It seems like it's a little dark, but of course I'm wearing my aviator sunglasses here. So, all right, coming up on 3,500. Flew it all the way up here. Once we get up here, we'll go ahead and get set up for a cruise at 3,500. Beautiful country out here, just beautiful country. Look at that Columbia River. It is amazing. So, all right, we're gonna hold at 3,500. Go ahead and go on heading mode. So there we are. Let's go ahead now and just come back on the old throttle here a little bit. Get ready for cruise. There we go. About 3,400 RPMs. Come back just a little bit more. No reason to really hurry. There we go. There we are. Beautiful Columbia River. So we took off from Troutdale there, and now we're just flying up the river. You can see that beautiful gorge, that Columbia River Gorge. I think it's like 1,000 feet off on almost on both sides, just straight up almost from the Columbia River. So, all right, let's go ahead and come about 15 degrees or so to the left. Just fly right up the river. Not really worried. There's not really a there is some wilderness areas on our right, but we're going to be right over the river, so we don't really have to worry about those at all. So everything is looking really good here. I'm just going to go ahead and check and make sure. Yeah, stream looks good. Everything looking good. Let's go ahead and take a look. Here we are. Look at that. Look at that, huh? Beautiful day. Oh, you can see right out there. There's Mount Hood. About 1-2 o'clock out there on the horizon. So again, we're basically going to go past it, make a right turn, and keep it right off the right wing. So very cool. Oh, let me turn on some of the panel lights here so we can. There we go. Now we can. Seems like we can see everything a little better there. Yep. All right. Nice. All right. Just following the river here. Kind of now just a chill flight, you know. We just gotta chill, man. Chilling up the Columbia River Gorge. Still maintaining VFR, so no problems there. Like I said, a few clouds in the area, but not too worried about it. Not too worried about it at all. Got a nice indicated, looks like it'd be about 108 or so, like that. Indicated. Our ground speed, if we come over here, ground speed is showing 115, so not much of a wind out here right now. But we are just going to fly up here the Columbia River Gorge. Again, we can come over here, and there is right out there. There is Mount Hood. You can kind of see it out there. There is Mount Hood. We will fly by that. We'll fly by all of the ski areas and all that at Mount Hood. But once we come up the Columbia River here, again, we're going to need to make that right turn, and then we'll have to do some climbing because we've got some terrain that we've got to go over, and you know, about 5,000, 6,000 or so feet. So once we get down here and we turn to the south, yeah, we're going to need to then go ahead and start another climb here. So, but we can do that all under autopilot and all that once we get down here, doing a 3,500 just because it's, you can see that that's barely going to clear the terrain here to the south, to the right of us. So if we wanted to, we could actually just go ahead. I mean, it's beautiful down here in the gorge, but I think we could probably just go ahead and be a little safer, and let's go ahead and go into vertical speed mode, and let's go ahead and climb up now to, let's go ahead and do 4,000 or 400 feet per minute. Go ahead and get some RPMs back to 2,000, just about 2,500 for our cruise climb here, 400 feet per minute. All right, there we go. Nice cruise climb up to 5,500 now. So, and of course, once we make the turn to the south, we'll actually be heading, heading magnetically to the east, even though it's almost south. So 5,500 feet is good. Elevation comes up to meet us, and so if the elevation is coming up to meet us, we're not actually at above 3,000 feet above the ground, so those rules are not really required. But so yeah, so we'll just stay at 5,500 feet. We'll watch for terrain, and we'll make adjustments as needed here. But everything else is looking good. VFR looks good. We got some clouds out here. We got to stay clear of the clouds, so we'll have to monitor that. But we're here in heading mode, so we can deviate left and right if we need to. So there is a Cascade Locks State. I think it's like a state park, or I'm not really sure if it's just a city called Cascade Locks right off the nose here. So as we climb with the terrain in front of us, going to go ahead, just continue to follow the south side, the right side of the Columbia River here. Now, a few little things that we've got different here in this aircraft is this is our landing gear. When we put the landing gear down, it's going to talk to us, I think, and make sure that we know that we're landing with the gear up on water. So this is a little dummy panel right there. Also down here, we've got a lever which actually raises and lowers our rudder pedal so we can steer. So we'll go ahead and land with that up, and we'll use the rudder of the aircraft. And then once we get slow, then we'll drop those in the water, so that way we can maneuver on the water, because that is amazing. So that is what some extra controls that we have got here in 3.6 Uncle Mike on floats. Unfortunately, we don't have the Xbox Flight Sim green livery available to us. We just have kind of the Cessna standard. I think it looks black. I don't think it's dark blue. I think it's black. So that is what we've got here available to us. But again, just a beautiful flight going right up the Columbia River Gorge here. This is out in the area when you get to the coast with the Columbia River and stuff. This is where you start to get to where the Goonies and all that was filmed and all that. So when I saw the Goonies when I was a kid, my parents, they took me out for a Goonies trip, and we did some other stuff. Mom took me out. We did a bunch of other stuff up the west coast. Really ended up in British Columbia doing some fishing and all that. So really would like to get Aunt Cindy out there so we could do a grown-up Goonies trip, because it is just absolutely amazing out there on the west coast, so especially the northwest. So very cool. Just beautiful country out here. There is 3.6 Uncle Mike on floats, so we can fly out to the lake. Look at this terrain. Oof. Oregon is amazing. The topography. Got some big mountains out here. All right, got a little bit of a cloud here for us. It's really, really light. As we climb up here, we're climbing almost to just passing through 5,000 feet. So a little bit of a violation here, VFR, because really we can't really see very well. So it looks like as soon as we get through this, we're okay. So I need to stay clear of the clouds. It's really kind of hard to tell if that's, I mean, I would say that's a cloud because visibility drops. You can still see, so as long as everybody's got their anti-smash lights on and stuff, we're okay. So all right, down there is the, looks like the, all right, we're getting a little slow here. I'm going to go ahead. Give some throttle there. That was getting a little. There we go. Well, we're actually leveling off. That's probably why then we're also speeding up, because we're at 5,500. All right. Now above 5,000, we can also go ahead and lean this out a little bit. So we'll let everything settle here. Just give it a little bit of time to settle. Look at this terrain coming up to meet us, even at 5,500 feet. Well, that's a big mountain, Mount Hood right out there. That's a big mountain. I'm not really sure what the elevation of Mount Hood is. 11,299. So it looks like something like that. So basically 11,300 feet. That's up there. Man, 3.6 Uncle Mike on float looks real good, I have to say. That looks amazing, cousin. Alright, let's jump back in the cockpit and let's see here. We are now level off at 5,500. And now let's go ahead and trim this out here. We can run it a little leaner now or higher. There we go, 2,500. There we go. That's a little bit better. So we're back to 2,500. I'm going to go ahead and come off the throttle just a little bit now. We gained some RPMs. We leaned it out. Got the engine running much more efficiently now. But yeah, look at that. Oh, so over there, that is the town. Trying to get over there, but I can't really seem to. That is the town of Cascade Locks down there. I did hit the left stick a little bit, so I'm just going to check and make sure that everything looks good on the old instruments. Everything is in the green. Temperatures look good. Everything looks good. So we are going up to that Untitled airfield. That is where we'll make our turn to the south and head toward Mount Hood. So on the south side of Mount Hood is where the lake is at. All right, terrain looks good. So let's go ahead and come to the right a little bit. So 12 miles to go. At least we get to Untitled airfield. And Untitled is not right on the water. It's actually inland a little bit from the river. But we can fly over the town and all that. Now we've got some clouds we got to deal with right here. So we'll just watch for that. There are some pretty cool aircraft that are seaplanes that you can get for flight simulator here on the Xbox Series S, but hey, 36 Uncle Mike, the Skyhawk, that's our bird. Be nice if these clouds somewhat dissipate before we get there, and they kind of look like they are kind of dissipating. We could go ahead and climb up to 7,500. It seems like the layer's right here with us, and that gets us above the terrain anyways to get ready to go over all the foothills and stuff of Mount Hood. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and come on in here. Vertical speed mode, 7,000. Let's just start a cruise climb here. Give it a little bit more power, and away we go. 200 feet per minute. We're trimmed up nicely with the mixture here. We can do that once we get back up to this cruise too. Let's see if we can just go ahead and climb above some of these little clouds that we need to stay clear of. So we've got some clouds here, so we can go ahead and make a slight turn here to the east as we just stay clear. We've got a little opening right there. Got a little opening. I can see the little opening right there. So stay clear of the clouds here. VFR. There we go, like that a little better. It doesn't look like we're looking at like a wall of clouds right in front of us now. Look out over here on Aunt Cindy's side. Look at these cool mountain lakes up here. Whew. The beautiful valleys. Looks like some type of little grass strip or something down over there. We are on our way up to 7,500 feet because we've got some terrain, because we are going to be heading out here to Mount Hood. There is Mount Hood out there. We've got to go right over that pass. Right over here is where we're basically going to be heading. Right up that road right there, up to a mountain pass, cross over the backside of Mount Hood. That is where we're heading. I figure we just come up the Columbia River here. That is a hell of a river. That is one hell of a river. Got these clouds we got to stay clear of. Maintain VFR. Looks pretty good to the south. Once we make this turn to the south, it looks pretty good. You can actually see how I programmed in our path here on this. I'm not too worried about it's just for reference, so we can, like here I can come and I can zoom out so you can actually, there we go. Now you can actually kind of see our path. Getting a little turbulence up here. All right, passing through 6,000 feet, climbing to 7,500. Looking good. All right, down here is that airfield. See if we can. There it is, right below us. That is Yernstead Airfield. So you can see they got this very interesting valley here. So this is where we're going to go ahead and start. Basically, almost a 9-degree turn. Let's go ahead and get in the cockpit. Now let's go ahead and turn to the south here. So start our turn to the south, go right up this river valley. I'm not really sure if it's a river valley. This actually might be like a part of like the lava flow or something that was created, or glacier or something from Mount Hood. So I'm sure it's a river now, but so we're just gonna follow this river now up, still climbing up, 7,500. We're at 90 knots, so good there. About 85 knots, so everything's looking good. Here in 36 Uncle Mike on floats. Man, that's a good looking airplane. Everything is looking good now. Keep climbing up. So we're already about halfway through the flight already. Like I said, once we should be able to see the lake once we get on the backside here of Mount Hood. But we'll see what kind of clouds we've got. Maintain VFR around the clouds, but then we got to descend down also because the lake is at 3,200 feet. Based on the winds that we had, we actually are kind of need to take off to the west or land to the west, so shouldn't be any problems. The lake is a fairly round lake, so we have multiple options to be able to land here. Oh, for those of you who want to know, my back feels much better, but I'm still doing short live streams so I can rest it and stretch it out and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, keep climbing up here. How we doing? Let's go ahead. We've come up now almost 2,000 more vertical feet. Let's go ahead and just pull back on the mixture just a little bit, lean it out a little bit more, get a few more RPMs. There we go. Just a little bit here in our climb. Looking good. Yeah, you can see this, like, I mean, it's a river valley, but you can definitely tell it has like a flow coming from, from the mountain. Actually, right there off the nose, right above the wing there, that actually looks like still like a lava bed that's still visible. That's cool. Over here on Aunt Cindy's side, right there. Look at that. Oh yeah, definitely. That is definitely exposed lava bed for when Mount Hood was created. Very cool. Look at that. Or last time it erupted. I don't know. I might have to do some research. That's pretty interesting to think about. But that's definitely a lava bed right down there. All right. Coming up on 7,000 feet. We're going to 7,500 feet. I'm going to come over here to vertical speed on the old. Dial it down to 100 just to maintain some speed. We don't have any terrain or anything that I'm worried about here. We've definitely got some clouds up here on Mount Hood, so we can actually follow the valley a little bit, so we can deviate a little bit here to the left. Just follow that river valley going up there. There we go, something like that. Just stay clear of the clouds. Yeah, when I flew into Portland, I remember when I flew into Portland commercially, we flew just right over, almost literally right over the top of Mount Hood. It was amazing to just look out the window and see it. So, look at this. Look at all this town and farming and agriculture here. I mean, I bet in this volcanic soil, this is some fertile farmland right here. But look at it. That's what's amazing about flight sim. I mean, it's literally, you can fly anywhere in the world. And since it's basically, I call it Google Earth, you can fly in Google Earth. So if you find something really neat on Google Earth, you can fly over to it and look at it. Like a whole lava bed. Look at that old lava bed right there. And then the power line cut through the trees. I would imagine that's power lines, not pipeline. probably could come over here and look at our sectional here as we do it. Yep, that's a power line. I can see it right there. It's right here on the sectional, because VFR, you would use that to navigate. So this looks like Odell and D and Mount Hood are little towns. And we got this valley we're going to go through. And once we cut through the valley, pretty much off the nose, we should see the lake here, because this valley right here almost goes right to the lake. So all right, definitely got VFR conditions now, so let's go ahead and come back to the right a little bit, go right over the saddle here of Mount Hood, so we get some nice views of Mount Hood on our way to the lake. And again, the lake is the next game that I'll also be live streaming here. So I'll be continue to live stream Citizen Sleeper, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and now we'll add the lake to our list of games that I'll be live streaming on my channel. So make sure you join that. I typically live stream at 8 p.m. On days that I live stream, which is most days. And then here I've had the opportunity to do some short live streams in the afternoon, so I've been doing some flying here. But yeah, looking good. Got this slow climb here, still up to 7,500 feet, just to kind of clear the pass up here as we pass Mount Hood. And then as soon as we clear that saddle, we'll be able to probably see the ski lifts and all that, and ski runs in the side of the mountain. And then we'll drop down into the lake. We actually pass over one lake on the way to ours, which is the lake. So, looking good. That looks like a really neat river valley too. Get a bush plane or something and see if you can go land on some of those riverbeds. Ooh, excuse me. Not here in the 3.6 Uncle Mike on floats. It's not made for that kind of flying. But there is Mount Hood. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, what was that? Ooh, got a real big updraft there. I just kind of hand flew it there for a little bit. I think that was just maybe some wind shear or something up here on the mountain. Ooh, little spook. Just had to help out the autopilot there for just a bit. We are definitely in beautiful VFR conditions here. Got plenty of visibility. And there is beautiful Mount Hood. Look at that. That right there is amazing. All right, a little bit of turbulence up here now, getting into the mountains. But we are now level at 7,500 feet, just below 2,500 RPMs, indicating 100 knots. Everything looks like we're in the green over here. We're actually at 2,450 RPMs. See if I can figure out in this panel how to activate another trying to figure out how I can activate I click on that, then I come up here and go to menu, activate leg. So enter. Does that do anything for us? We're now in cascade to there. Well, it activated something, but it really didn't activate the leg that I wanted, so. All right, but here we are. You start to see some of the ski runs and stuff, like I said. Let's go ahead and go in the cockpit here, and let's go ahead and start. Turn a little bit more here to the right. Definitely see the ski runs right there off the right wingtip. I'm sure there's probably 2, 3, who knows. It just said ski lifts and stuff on the VFR chart, so. All right, so we just passing Mount Hood. Let's see what we're heading here. Heading is, yep, so straight out here is the lake. I can kind of see it way out there, just to the left of the nose. Just deviate just a little bit here to the left. Like I said, we pass over one lake that's kind of like a finger lake. Check out Mount Hood. Look at the ski runs right below us too. It's a whole ski resort. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the ski resort down there. There's like another ski resort out there on that mountain. Yep, there we go. So kind of coming through the mountains here. Just above the wing there, that is the first lake that we'll pass over. But then the lake is pretty much straight ahead. Of course, we'll have some other little lakes and all that as we fly over. But so, all right, everything is looking good here. We'll got a little bit of terrain coming up here, so we're going to go ahead and. I think we're safe descending down here. So let's go ahead and. Vertical speed. Let's go ahead and descend down to 5,500. Come back on the power a little bit. So we'll go ahead and use some of that speed, and there we go. Yep, I can see the lake. Come to the left here, but it's about 5 degrees or so. There is the lake just to the right off the nose there, off on the horizon. As we descend down here to 5,500 feet. Basically, we'll go ahead and circle around, check out, make sure there's no boats or anything like that. Then we'll land at the lake. Bye-bye, Mount Hood. Well, that was amazing to fly by Mount Hood. Yeah, we'll come over here, we'll do orbit around the lake, decide how we want to land. Everything will be good. No worries. No problems. Just remember, there's going to be a little bit different in the procedure because when we land, this is going to be an audible warning, and so we'll press that to basically make sure that we recognize that we are landing with the gear up so that we're actually landing on the water. And then once we get slow on the water, then we pull this handle right here, which puts our rudders into the water for steering. So there's no air traffic control or anything out here, so we're going to need to decide how we want to land. I don't think there's much wind right now, but we'll see if we can get an indication of wind and so on, and make a decision if we want to land to the east, to the west, the north, to the south. Again, because the lake it's big enough, it's almost round, so you can land almost in any direction that you want to land. So, but there is the lake here, and there's the little finger lake that I was talking about that we pass over first. Kind of looks like a duck foot or something like that. But there are a bunch of other little lakes out here. Not sure if those really have the length and stuff, the size for us to go ahead and land at. But again, some amazing topography out here. Alright, so it seems as if we're getting pushed a little bit to the right or to the left. So I think the wind is coming from the west. So if you take a look, 121 knots over the ground. So it seems like we've got a little bit of a tailwind right now too. So it might be actually be coming then from the east, from the southeast, or from the northeast, the wind. So all right, let's go ahead and come to the right just a little bit, get set up for us to orbit the lake here. There's the lake coming down to 5,500 feet. The lake is at 3,200 feet, and I don't see that we've got any problems with terrain right now. So let's go ahead and go down to 4,500 feet. So alright, looks like the computer already, there we go, 4,500. We don't need to descend so fast, so 400 feet per minute. There is the lake, folks. We are here, I can see it. So not much of a, yeah, it seems like what we need to do is we actually need to land here coming back. So let's go ahead and kind of set up at a downwind here. So we'll go ahead and come on over here to the right. So this will be set up, so we're gonna basically do a 180. We'll go ahead and say that we're like on downwind right here. Got some terrain here, so we need to be cognizant of that. But again, the lake itself is about 3,200 feet, so we'll just sit down here to 4,500. Fly out the way that we're heading here to the southwest, and then come back to the northeast for landing. So I'm going to make the decision that the wind is kind of now coming from behind us, so we're going to land this way. So there is the lake, folks. We're going to be spending some time here at the lake in a new game called The Lake. Alright, gonna go ahead and start slowing up in our descent here. Yeah, beautiful. I don't even see hardly any wind at all, really. I don't see any indication of really waves or anything like that on the lake. All right, autopilot's coming off. And since it's at 3,000 feet, I'm going to go ahead and go full rich. Because really it's above like 5,000, so. All right, let's get that nose back up. Since I'm now hand flying. All right, in the white arc, first notch of flaps coming in. Let's go ahead and get set up so we can have a nice view as we turn here. Come right over the dam there. right, still in the white arc. Second notch of flaps coming in. Shooting for 75 knots. All right, there is 75 knots. Just going to pitch now for 75 knots. There's 80 knots. Bring that nose up a little bit. There is the lake. All right. Lake is definitely made. Going full flaps. Again, we're going to have a audio alarm that's going to start chirping at us. Just a little bit of power here. 70 knots. Go ahead and try this view, huh? Flight idle. Yep.
Water landing. Gears up for water landing.
There we go.
For water landing. Gears up for water landing. Gears up for water landing.
All right, we don't have to worry about
Gears up for water landing.
obstructions here.
Gears up for water landing.
Go ahead and let it settle here.
Gears up for water landing.
All right.
Gears up for water landing.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and acknowledge that alarm.
Gears up for water landing.
We'll go ahead and look down here. And now our rudders are in the water. Let's go ahead and bring the flaps up. And now we've got good control here. And welcome to the lake, folks. Absolutely amazing. It's a neat landing there, doing it from that view. You know, the cool thing is that if you really had you had the anchor and all this, you just jump out on the floats and start fishing right here on the lake. And the beautiful, can't really see it because that mountain right there, yeah, can't really see it because over there is Mount Hood. Very, very cool. Well, one thing we can do here is we could actually just enjoy the serenity of the lake here for a bit. So let's go ahead and think about what we do. Flaps are up, rudders are in the water. There's not much of a breeze or anything like that. So let's just go ahead and pull the power. Beautiful. Turn off the avionics. There is our logbook, but we are going to go ahead and continue here. And now let's go ahead and shut off the, there we go. We're just floating out here in the lake. Now one thing we can do that'd be kind of fun is we can come here and we can go ahead and break out the drone camera. Here we go. Now we've got the drone. Whoa, water landing. Look at that, huh? There we are. On the lake. That's amazing. Well, we're going to explore the lake here and the town around the lake. You saw a little bit of the town there in the landing, some of the down there. So, yep, here we are. Fly the drone back to us. Down here with me and Aunt Cindy in the airplane. There we are. Just enjoying the day. Sitting out here, like I said, throw the anchor out, fish, do something like that, but we got more to do because we're out here to help some people in the lake. while they are away and stuff like that. So yeah, so I will see you once we start live streaming the lake here on the Xbox. And so please remember, thumbs up because you are amazing. Also, please click like if you do, because that helps find this channel, other people that have the same interests, same gaming interests, flying, flight simulator, and that type of stuff, because it activates the YouTube algorithm. Very cool. Very cool. So, yep, thanks for joining me on this flight from Portland Troutdale out to Whitethorn Games, the lake. And I will then see you next time. Bye. Haha. Very cool. What a great flight. What a great little flight. I am thrilled with that flight. And then I will see you guys in and around the lake.